She leaned in close during the toast, expressionless, neither smiling nor showing signs of worry. "We need to depart, immediately," she murmured softly, catching my attention away from the stage where my brother stood hand in hand with his bride, beaming with pride. "I'll clarify on the way," she said, and that was all. Before the cake was sliced, before the first dance, before the family photos I was due to join, we slipped out unnoticed. The car filled with an oppressive silence, like a cloud of smoke. Disquieting. 5 miles down the road, she finally spoke up. "Didn't you notice? The wedding was flawless." That was the issue. Every detail was in its place, every guest coordinated, speeches rehearsed to perfection, even the playlist meticulously selected. But it wasn't merely a ceremony of matrimony. Not truly. It was a spectacle, a declaration, and it took my wife's single sentence for me to understand the truth. That wedding wasn't about love. It was about eliminating me. My brother, Caleb, had always been the shining star, bright, charismatic, skilled at making others think he was the victim. Despite being the one wielding the knife, I was the silent one, the mediator, the problem solver. When Dad passed away, I managed his estate. When Mom fell ill, I covered the bills. Caleb? He gave speeches and posted on Instagram. He referred to me as Plan B, suggesting he expected me to pick up the pieces if he failed, a role I always fulfilled, until I encountered Mia. She immediately saw through him. At our first dinner together, she whispered, "He watches you like a man who believes your life should have been his." I dismissed it. He was my brother. I chose not to acknowledge it. However, the fissures began to widen. He flirted with Mia, first once, then twice, claiming it was all in jest. He also borrowed $10,000 from me, yet has failed to repay it. And then came his engagement, to Cassandra, a girl I dated fleetingly and discreetly during college. He was aware. He even brought her to Thanksgiving dinner. I remained silent. Mia observed. That was the first shot. The wedding invitation arrived in an ostentatious box, adorned with gold trim. Our names were intentionally misspelled, a subtle jab, it seemed. The event schedule, seating chart, and color scheme for attire suggested otherwise. This wasn't a wedding but a play. The clue was clear. Caleb now occupied the center stage. Mia recognized it before I did, noting how the bridesmaids were dressed to resemble her in every detail. Height, build, lipstick shade matching that of our first date night. Even Cassandra's dress mirrored the one Mia had once chosen but never worn. This wasn't a coincidence. It was calculated and personal. Mia leaned back in the passenger seat, stating, "That wedding wasn't for them. It was meant to humiliate you." I gripped the steering wheel tighter as she went on. "Did you listen to the vows?" I had, but hadn't truly heard them until then. She recited them word for word. He was referring to me in his wedding vows, to my ex, spoken in front of my family. That night, I didn't sleep or speak, but within me, something changed. If you want war, little brother, so be it. Let's engage. Revenge isn't an emotional response, it's a calculation. The first step, money. Caleb and Cassandra had recently started a business, wedding planning, ironically, funded by investors, one of them being me, secretly through a shell company he didn't know about. I withdrew, stealthily and legally, which activated a clause in his investor agreement. His primary funder mimicked my move. In less than a week, he had lost 60% of his capital. He accused Cassandra. They argued loudly, publicly. I ensured it. The second step, secrets. Do you recall the $10,000? I had proof, emails, voice notes in which he promised repayment. I sent them to a journalist focusing on influencer frauds, attaching a timeline of his financial dealings. The article was published on a Tuesday. Golden groom or grifter. The family discussion went viral. The third step, Cassandra. She was unaware he had slept with her closest friend a month prior to their wedding. I had discovered it on his old phone when he requested my help fixing it. After repairing it, I anonymously sent the incriminating messages to her. That night she packed her belongings. The argument ensued 2 weeks later. He arrived at my door in disarray, shaking. "You were responsible," he snarled. I remained composed. "You orchestrated everything," I was told. I met his gaze. "You turned it into a spectacle," I replied. All I did was provide the conclusion. He lunged. Mia intervened. "Think twice," she said, her voice chillingly cold. "You're not the victim in this." He departed without threats, only silence and defeat. That incident occurred 6 months ago. His business has failed, Cassandra is engaged to someone else, Caleb relocated, and there are no updates sent. As for me, I remain here. Mia and I take walks on Sundays now. We laugh more, breathe deeper, and sometimes, when it's quiet, I recall that wedding, the lights, the vows, the applause, and the whisper that transformed everything. It's time to go now. The best advice I've ever heeded.